So, I have another review for you. Just a thing beforehand. I really enjoyed this book, so I'm gonna try and look at it critically as well. But just letting you know, I really liked it. So, without further ado, the book is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I've read both of her other published books, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour and Second Chance Summer. This cover is quite different from the other two, but I like it a lot, and I'm sure you've probably seen it around BookTube, but it's so lovely. The dust jacket, which is nice enough as it is, you know, nice font, nice colours. And then the inside is a big long image of the two characters, and I don't know, I really like it. The warm tones and everything, just aesthetically it's really nice. So the premise of this book is that Emily, who's the main character in the book, her best friend has left without really any warning and has left her a list of things to do this summer. They're all things that she's quite apprehensive to do, either because they're actual fears that she needs to conquer or awkward things. And Emily and Sloane have a really tight friendship. They just have each other. So Sloane's disappearance hits Emily hard, and she thinks the only way to get her friend back is by completing the list. I thought the idea sounded interesting. It was more that I like Morgan Matson's writing style and characters, so I would have picked it up anyway. On that point, the writing style, again, I like. It's quite simple, but I really like the characters she creates. They just come across really well. They seem really believable. She seems to get inside their heads really well. She just can get the essence of someone. It was really an easy read in that sense. I did believe all the actions. Now, I wouldn't say I necessarily agreed with them, and sometimes it was like, come on, why didn't you just realise? But people do that in real life. It was believable and a real strength of the book. Plot-wise, basically it's structured by the things on the list, and the chapters are named various different tasks that she has to do that are on the list. I thought that was a really interesting way of doing it, especially when, like, you'd see the chapter name and then it wouldn't necessarily seem like she was doing that one that time, but then various things happen and it wasn't that much about the plot. It's much more about the character developing, Emily trying to find her own person without Sloane being there, breaking out a bit more. It wasn't an action-packed book, but it was good nonetheless. There was enough stuff going on with the characters that you didn't feel like this is really boring. I don't know that much about pacing, but I didn't feel like it was dragging. From the romantic side of things, you kind of see it coming for a long time and just like, come on now, just let it happen. But you don't want it to be instantaneous either. So I thought it was good that it allowed time for that. This might be a bit spoilery, so I'm not sure, you know, if you haven't read it, maybe don't watch this bit. So characters. Sloane. I found Sloane really interesting. I can imagine her so clearly. I loved that she liked all these vintage clothes and that she did pull Emily out of her shell a bit, and that leaving, she left this list so that Emily wouldn't just be left. She wanted to help Emily become more of her own person. And Emily is the character that I really connected with. I wouldn't say I'm like her in all respects, but a lot of the instances when she was feeling self-conscious and uncomfortable I completely understood. Like when she's at the orchard and she doesn't want to interact with anyone, so she just goes and sits to the side, and with the fake ID, when she just doesn't want to do it and then her and Sloane fall out. I really liked that Morgan Matson had written a character like that. Acknowledge that people are like that. Frank, I really liked Frank. He's kind of like the person I'd want to be. The person who just works really hard, gets lots of stuff done, is really good person, campaigns for things. I was like, you have a lot of qualities that I admire. When he just decides he wants to get better at running, and so he does, and he's like, will you help me? That motivation and drive, yeah, I really liked him as a character. But I also liked that the book kind of acknowledged how there are two different versions of the character, because Frank is perceived to be a certain way, and then when you actually get to know him, he is like that, but he's also different. And I think that's very true with people. There are differences between how you're perceived and how you actually are, so I thought it was good that it looked at that. I also found it really interesting about the friendships that were made over the summer, and that they didn't really think that anything would happen afterwards. They would just go back to their various different groups. I personally haven't had a summer like that where I just meet people and become friends with them. It was quite interesting to experience it vicariously through those characters. A different way of experiencing friendship and companionship. I thought some of the ideas, like the orchard and the seaside descriptions, were very nice, and the whole idea of a summer list has really been appealing to me recently, so I think I am gonna do my own one this year. Not like that one, but just little things to make sure that I do some things that I wouldn't normally do, and also, you know, make the most of this summer. And I was thinking about it, I am pretty much the age they would be, I think. You know, that's kind of weird. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. Why? Just because I guess if you're more into plot, it might drop it down a star. And also some of the things that were misinterpreted, you could see that they were being misinterpreted, and I didn't mind in this case because I did find the characters so compelling. But if you didn't connect so much with them, then that would probably be quite annoying. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed the book. I would recommend it. It's a nice summery book. It's lots of fun. Bye!